The first signal came at 2:17 a.m. Most of Earth was asleep. New York was quiet. London was dark. Tokyo was glowing like always. Somewhere over the Pacific Ocean, satellites were doing their normal, boring job, watching space. Then one satellite picked up something strange. At first, it looked like static, just noise. The computer flagged it. Ran it again, same result. Then another satellite saw it. Then another. Within 3 minutes, observatories across the world were staring at the same impossible image. Thousands of objects moving together in formation, heading toward Earth at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. A young analyst named Marcus Reed rubbed his eyes and leaned closer to his screen. "No way," he whispered. "The objects were not asteroids, not debris, not comets. They were controlled, organized, fast." Marcus ran the trajectory model again. His hands started shaking. The line pointed straight at Earth. Not passing by, not curving around, straight center. He picked up the red emergency phone. "Houston, yeah. You guys might want to look at this. Like, right now." Within 30 minutes, the White House was awake. Generals rushed into the Pentagon in wrinkled uniforms. Phones rang non-stop. Secure screens lit up across military command centers. At first, leaders hoped it was some kind of mistake, a glitch, a prank. But space doesn't prank people. The data was solid. Thousands of massive ships were moving through deep space in perfect formation, and they were slowing down, not because of gravity, because they were adjusting course to Earth across the world. Space agencies shared data. China confirmed it. Europe confirmed it. India confirmed it. Everyone saw the same thing. The objects were too large to be satellites, too controlled to be natural, too many to ignore. A senior general stared at the screen and muttered, "Well, that's not good." No one laughed. 4 hours later, the news broke. At first it was rumors online, blurry images, wild posts, alien invasion confirmed. People thought it was fake, clickbait. Then the president addressed the nation. His face was serious. "No jokes, my fellow Americans," he said calmly. "Early this morning, our space monitoring systems detected a large fleet of unknown objects entering our solar system. That was all it took." The world exploded. Stock markets crashed within minutes. Airports flooded with people trying to leave cities. Churches filled up. Some people partied like it was the end of the world. Others locked themselves inside. Social media went crazy. Memes, panic, conspiracy theories. It was chaos. Meanwhile, far from the cameras, deep under a mountain in Colorado, something else was happening. A hidden facility powered up. It had no public name, no sign, only a code. Project Sentinel, inside a massive underground command room. Screens showed the alien fleet in high detail. They were not simple ships. They were enormous, long, black, sharp-edged vessels with strange glowing cores. Some were the size of small cities, and there were thousands of them. A civilian scientist whispered, "This is it." A 4-star general stood behind him. "No," the general said quietly. "This is what we've been waiting for. 11 days. That was the estimate. 11 days until arrival." The alien armada was moving fast, but not at full speed. almost like they were confident, like they had all the time in the world, as if Earth was already theirs. That bothered the generals the most. No warning message came from the fleet, no communication, no threat, just silence, cold, steady movement, like a shark in dark water. By day 2, the world economy was collapsing. Fuel shortages began. Cities saw riots. Military forces were deployed just to keep order. People kept asking the same question: are we done for? No one had an answer, but deep underground, behind locked steel doors, Earth was not panicking. It was preparing. Project Sentinel had been running for over 30 years. Most people had no clue it existed. It started as a small research idea during the Cold War. What if Earth was not alone? What if one day something came? And what if it wasn't friendly? At first, politicians laughed. Too expensive, too crazy. But a few leaders pushed forward anyway, just in case. They built listening stations in deep space. They hid defense platforms near the moon. They tested propulsion systems no one outside the program had ever seen. Slowly, quietly, humanity leveled up without telling the public, because panic helps no one. On day 3, the alien fleet passed. Pluto, clear image now, sharp, detailed. The ships were not random shapes. They were designed, structured. This was a military force, no doubt about it. A young officer looked at the screen and said softly, "That's not exploration. That's a hit squad." Another officer nodded, double quotes, "Yeah. They didn't come to say hi." The alien fleet did something strange near Neptune. They slowed down, then they spread out slightly, scanning, watching, like hunters checking the field. Earth's satellites picked up powerful energy pulses from the alien ship's data collection, mapping, measuring Earth's defenses. The general inside Project Sentinel folded his arms. "Let them look," he said. His tone was calm. To calm the public didn't know about Sentinel. All they saw was fear. World leaders held emergency meetings. Alliances were formed. Overnight, enemies shook hands. For the first time in history, Earth felt united, not because of peace, because of threat. Funny how that works. On day 5, something changed. The alien fleet increased speed. Arrival estimate moved up 9 days now. People started counting down online. 8 days left. 7 days left. It became a global clock. A timer to possible extinction. But inside the mountain base, no one was counting down. They were counting forward. Power levels rose in hidden stations. Orbital platforms adjusted position. Deep space drones moved quietly into place. Earth looked scared on the outside, but under the surface, different story. Marcus Red, the analyst who first saw the signal, was brought to the underground facility. He stared at the massive display wall showing the alien fleet. "They're not sending any message," he said nervously. The general replied, "That tells us everything." Marcus swallowed. "So, what do we do?" The general looked at the screen for a long moment. Then he said 5 simple words. "We let them come closer." Marcus blinked. "That's the plan." The general gave a small smile. "Oh, trust me," he said. "They think we're the target." He turned toward the command floor, but they have no idea what they just walked into. Out in deep space, the alien armada continued forward, silent, confident, unstoppable at least. That's what they believed. Earth looked small from that distance, blue, peaceful, fragile, easy, the perfect prize. But space is a funny place. Sometimes the quiet planet is not the weak one. Sometimes the quiet planet is just waiting. And as the alien fleet crossed the edge of the inner solar system, a hidden system deep beneath, Earth's crust came online for the first time in history. Power surged through machines no alien species had ever seen. Across the command center, lights shifted from standby to active. The general watched the incoming fleet and said, under his breath, "All right, let's dance." And far out in space, the armada kept coming, not knowing, not suspecting, not even a little bit, that no one would ever see them again. The alien armada crossed the orbit of Jupiter like it owned the place. Thousands of warships moved in perfect lines, dark metal hulls reflecting the weak sunlight. Their formation shifted smoothly, like a school of sharks adjusting in deep water. They slowed again, not because they had to, because they wanted to look. Massive scanning beams stretched toward the inner planets. Energy waves rolled across space, mapping everything. Satellites, space stations, military outposts. Earth watched them scan and did nothing. No weapons fired, no challenge, sent no warning message, just silence to the alien commanders. That silence meant fear inside the lead command vessel. A tall, pale alien figure studied a holographic model of Earth. Its large eyes flickered with data streams, primitive satellites, chemical rockets, nuclear weapons, old technology, divided nations. The alien commander made a clicking sound, something like a laugh. "This world is fractured," it said in its own language. "They are not united. They are not prepared." Another officer tilted its head slightly. "Shall we begin strike positioning?" The commander nodded. "Slow advance. Full scan. We take their defense grid apart, piece by piece." They believed this would be easy. A quick operation, in and out. Grab resources, secure the planet. Done deal. What they didn't know, Earth was watching right back, deep under the Colorado mountain. Project Sentinel was fully active now. Huge screens displayed every alien ship in high detail. Their power levels, their formations, their scan frequencies. Human scientists weren't just observing, they were learning past. Dr. Elena Vasquez stood at the center console, analyzing alien scan waves. "They're mapping our electromagnetic signatures," she said calmly. "They're trying to understand our weapons." A colonel crossed his arms. "Can they see Sentinel?" Alina smirked slightly. "Not even close, because Sentinel wasn't built like normal technology. It didn't broadcast. It didn't reflect. It didn't show up on standard scans. It bent signals around itself. Alien sensors saw empty space where humanity's strongest weapons were hiding. And that was exactly the point. On the surface, Earth looked messy. News channels argued non-stop. Politicians blamed each other. Military convoys moved in public. Jets flew loudly across skies. It looked chaotic, unorganized, panicked. But behind the scenes, it was controlled, carefully planned. The president held another public speech. "We are exploring diplomatic options," he said firmly. "We ask the global community to remain calm." Diplomatic options. That made some people laugh. Online forums exploded. "Bro, they're bringing thousands of ships and we're talking diplomacy." Memes kept coming. Fear mixed with humor. Classic human reaction. But inside Sentinel, no one was joking. Every second mattered near Mars. The alien fleet deployed smaller scout ships. Hundreds of them broke formation and sped forward fast. They scanned Mars bases. They scanned asteroid mining stations. They scanned everything in range. Then they sent data back to the armada. The alien commander reviewed the information. "Minimal resistance," it said. "Limited defensive capabilities." Another officer spoke carefully. "Energy fluctuations detected near Earth's moon." The commander paused. "Explain." Brief spike. Then gone. The commander leaned closer to the hologram. "Probably a malfunction. Primitive. Systems often gelati." Finally, the commander waved one long hand dismissively. "Irrelevant. That small mistake would cost them everything." On the far side of the moon, something massive powered up, hidden in shadow, buried beneath lunar rock. A platform larger than any human aircraft carrier slowly rotated into position. Its surface panels shifted open. Inside were weapons that had never been revealed to the public. Gravity well, projectors, quantum pulse cannons, energy nets capable of trapping ships mid-warp, but none of them fired. Not yet. Earth was still playing dumb. Marcus Reed stood next to a senior naval officer inside Sentinel. He stared at the alien fleet projections. "They really think we're weak, don't they?" Marcus said quietly. The officer nodded. Double quotes, "Yeah. They think we're still arguing about politics while they roll in." Marcus swallowed. "Are we ready?" The officer gave him a long look. "We've been ready for 30 years. The alien fleet passed the asteroid belt. That was the invisible line. From that point forward, they were officially inside humanity's defensive sphere. Still, Earth did nothing. No missiles launched. No fleet revealed. Just radio. Silence. The alien commander interpreted it as surrender. "Deploy." "Intimidation protocol," it ordered. Several massive alien warships moved to the front of the formation. Their weapon cores began. Glowing red. Energy built up slowly. Visibly, a show of power, a warning, across Earth. Telescopes picked up the glow. News channels zoomed in on the red lights in space. People gasped. "It's over." Someone whispered in a crowded New York subway, but deep underground. The general simply watched. "Let them flex," he muttered. "Everyone talks big before they get humbled." The alien fleet transmitted its first signal. It wasn't in any human language, but the meaning was clear. "Submit." The transmission repeated across all frequencies. "Submit. No threats, no negotiations, just expectation." Inside Sentinel, linguists worked fast, decoding patterns. "It's a demand for surrender," one analyst confirmed. The room grew quiet. All eyes turned to the general. He didn't answer right away. He simply tapped a control panel across the solar system. Hidden satellites shifted position. Asteroids that weren't really asteroids adjusted slightly. Stealth fleets powered engines. Silently, the trap was forming. Slowly, carefully, like a spider finishing its web. Back in alien command. Confidence was high. No response from Earth, no counterattack, no visible fleet. One officer actually sounded bored. They are paralyzed with fear. The commander agreed. Prepare primary strike test. Target uninhabited ocean region. A demonstration shot just to prove a point. The weapon systems charged. Power readings spiked across the alien. Armada, even human sensors felt the build-up inside. Sentinel. Warning alarms flashed. Marcus felt his heart slam against his ribs. They're about to fire. The general nodded slowly. Good. Marcus stared at him. Good. The general's eyes never left the screen. We needed them to commit. The alien flagship fired. A single massive beam of concentrated energy shot forward, blazing through space toward Earth. News cameras captured the glow streaking across. Darkness, people screamed, some prayed, some just froze. The beam raced toward Earth's atmosphere and then it hit something, an invisible wall, for half a second. Nothing happened. Then space lit up. A massive blue shock wave expanded outward, glowing like lightning across a dome that surrounded the planet. The beam shattered, energy scattered, harmlessly into space. Earth remained untouched across the world. People stared at the sky in disbelief. What the heck was that? Inside the alien flagship, chaos erupted. Unknown barrier detected. Energy reflection beyond predicted limits. The commander's eyes widened. That is impossible. They fired again, harder, stronger, same result. The invisible shield flared, brighter, unbroken, untouched, inside Sentinel. The general finally smiled. Welcome to Earth, he said softly. But we're not done playing dumb. Because while the aliens focused on the shield, they failed to notice something else, small. Human vessels were moving through the asteroid belt. Stealth. Ships, silent. Positioning behind the alien formation, closing. In slow, careful, the aliens were staring at Earth. They should have been watching their backs. The trap was almost ready. And the armada still thought it was the hunter. They had no idea. They had just stepped into the cage. The alien beam faded into nothing. Earth was still there, blue.com, untouched. For a few seconds. Both sides just stared at each other across space. Then everything changed. Inside the alien flagship, warning signals flashed across every control surface. Energy barrier confirmed. Shield strength exceeding combat models. Unknown technology detected. The alien commander stood frozen, staring at the holographic image of Earth surrounded by a glowing blue dome. That world was listed as pre-interstellar. It said slowly, an officer replied, voice shaking. Our data was wrong. The commander's tone hardened. No, our data was incomplete. That single sentence carried something new. Doubt back on Earth. People were losing their minds, but in a different way now. The shield had been seen by millions. A bright flash across the sky. News anchors were shouting, "Ladies and gentlemen, some kind of planetary defense system has activated." Social media exploded again. Yo, we had a shield this whole time. Since when are we living in a sci-fi movie? Fear was still there, but now it mixed with something else. Hope inside Project Sentinel. No one celebrated, not yet. Dr. Alina Vasquez studied the shield output. Barrier holding at 98% efficiency, she reported. How long can it sustain? Marcus asked Alina, didn't look away from the screen. As long as we need. The general stood tall behind them. Good, Phase 2. Far behind the alien armada. Something moved. Stealth human warships drifted between asteroids like ghosts. Their hulls were matte black, absorbing light. Their engines emitted almost zero radiation. They were invisible to standard scans, and they were now directly behind the alien fleet. Each ship carried gravity distortion weapons, not explosive, not flashy, but devastating. Alien fleet was still focused forward on Earth's shield. They didn't expect danger from the rear. Big mistake. The alien commander made a decision. Redirect power. Concentrate fire on one sector of the barrier. Break it. Dozens of alien ships aligned. Red energy cores flared brighter. They fired. Together, massive beams slammed into one focused point on Earth's shield. The blue dome flickered. For the first time, it dimmed slightly. Inside Sentinel, warning lights blinked, shield integrity dropping to 92%. Alina said calmly. Marcus felt sweat form on his neck. They're pushing harder. The general nodded once. Let them. Behind the alien fleet. The first human stealth ship locked target. Commander Sarah. Walker stood on its bridge. She was calm, focused. Confirm gravity well coordinates. She ordered. Locked. Her officer replied. On my mark. She watched the alien fleet firing at Earth. They think we're scared, one crew member muttered. Sarah gave a small grin. Yeah. They're about to have a bad day. Fire. The human ship released a pulse. It was invisible. No bright beam, no sound, just a ripple in space itself. Behind the last row of alien warships. Space twisted, bent, collapsed. Inward. 3 alien ships suddenly jerked off. Course their hulls crumpled like soda cans under pressure. Internal systems overloaded instantly. No explosion, no debris. They simply folded into themselves and vanished into a compact gravity. Not gone. Inside the alien flagship. Alarms screamed. Rear formation lost. 3 vessels destroyed. The commander spun toward the rear display. What weapon was that? No energy signature detected. No projectile impact. Panic started spreading across the alien fleet. Ships turned, scanning wildly, but the human stealth ships were already moving, repositioning, hunting on Earth. The shield continued, absorbing attack. Alien fire pounded against it again and again, but now the alien formation was breaking. Ships were turning. Around their organized lines were becoming messy. Inside Sentinel. The general saw it immediately. They're distracted, he said quietly. Alina nodded. Shall we escalate? The general didn't hesitate. Let's show them we're not just hiding behind a wall. From the far side of the moon, the hidden defense platform activated. Panels opened fully, massive. Cannons extended outward. Power surged through systems. Never before used in combat. A bright, white beam launched from lunar orbit. It crossed space in seconds. One alien destroyer in the mid-formation was hit. Directly, its shields flared, failed. The ship split clean in half. The 2 pieces drifted apart silently. Across the world. Telescopes captured the flash. News anchors stared in shock. Earth just fired back. Crowds began cheering in cities. People pointed at the sky. That's right. Someone yelled in Chicago, "Let's go." For the first time since the invasion was announced, humanity felt something different. Not fear, pride. The alien commander felt something else. Uncertainty. This planet was not primitive. It was prepared, full, defensive spread. The commander ordered, "Locate the origin of the counterattack." But Earth's weapons were not centralized. They were everywhere, hidden in asteroids, mounted on moons, buried beneath rock. Every time the aliens locked onto one energy spike, another attack came from somewhere else. A second gravity, well pulse activated behind them. 5 more alien ships crumpled and disappeared. Their fleet formation now looked broken. Shattered, Commander. Sarah Walker watched the chaos unfold. "They're scrambling," her sensor officer said. "Of course they are," Sarah replied. "They walked into our backyard." She leaned forward. "Target their command relay ships. Cut communication between divisions." "Copy." Another silent pulse launched. This time, 2 large alien communication vessels warped violently and tore apart under internal stress. Instant blackout across multiple alien squadrons. The armada began losing coordination. Ships collided while maneuvering. Energy beams missed targets there. Once perfect formation looked sloppy. Now desperate. Inside the alien flagship, tension filled the air. The commander realized the truth. They were not attacking a weak world. They were inside a controlled battlefield. Everything felt planned, calculated, even the shield, even the silence. The alien commander whispered, "We are inside their defense perimeter." An officer responded nervously, "We should retreat." The commander hesitated. Retreat from a pre-interstellar world. Unthinkable, but more ships were vanishing. Sensors still could not detect the human attackers. Clearly it was like fighting shadows. Back in Sentinel, the general folded his hands behind his back. "Status." Alina replied smoothly, "Alien fleet strength reduced by 12%. Disorganization increasing." Marcus stared at the projection. "They look confused." The general gave a slight nod. "Confused enemies make mistakes." He paused. "Prepare, Phase 3. Marcus blinked. "There's more." The general glanced at him. "Oh yeah. We haven't even started." The alien fleet tried one final concentrated barrage. Against the shield, all major ships fired at once. The shield flared brighter than ever before. The sky over Earth glowed blue. For a second, it looked like the planet was wrapped in lightning. Then the shield stabilized, unbroken. And at that exact moment, hidden human warships decloaked across the battlefield. Not one, not 10, hundreds. Sleek, advanced, deadly. They appeared on all sides of the alien fleet, front, buck, below, complete. Surround. The alien commander stared at the display. It finally understood. This was not an invasion. This was a trap, and they had flown straight into it. Across the human fleet communication channel, Commander Sarah Walker's voice echoed calmly. "All units, lock targets." Her ships aimed in perfect coordination. The alien armada had come to conquer Earth. Instead, they were boxed in, outmaneuvered, outgunned. OUTPLAYED. The hunters were no longer hunting. They were prey, and the real battle was about to begin. The alien armada was surrounded. Hundreds of human warships floated in perfect formation around them, not old metal rockets, not fragile stations. These were advanced combat vessels, smooth hulls, sharp angles, engines glowing with deep blue light, each one positioned with purpose. The alien commander stared at the tactical display, read DOT's alien ships, blue dots, human ships. Blue dots were everywhere. How many? The commander demanded. 200 confirmed, an officer replied. Possibly more hidden. The commander felt something it had not felt in centuries. Pressure. They had come expecting fear. Instead, they found a wall, and now a cage inside Project Sentinel. The general watched quietly. Seal the exits, he said, across the solar system. Hidden devices activated near the outer edge of Mars orbit. Small satellites unfolded like metal flowers. They powered up. Invisible fields expanded. Outward warp disruption grids. The alien fleets faster than light. Drive systems began flickering, warning. Alarms echoed across their ships. FTL systems unstable. Jump calculations failing. The alien commander's eyes widened. They are blocking our escape. Yes, yes. They were. Commander Sarah Walker stood tall on her bridge. Her fleet was calm. Disciplined, waiting. Alien ships attempting retreat maneuvers, her tactical officer reported. Sarah nodded. Of course they are. She activated the main channel. All units, hold formation. Do not overextend. Let them feel it. Her voice was steady, cool, no panic, because this fight was on humanity's terms. The alien armada tried to regroup. Ships pulled inward, forming a defensive sphere. Weapons pointed outward in every direction. Energy shields flared. Around each vessel, they were no longer hunting. They were surviving. Return fire. The alien commander ordered sharply. Alien warships launched a wave of red plasma bolts toward the nearest human ships. The bolts hit, but human ships moved fast. Really? Fast. They dodged with precise thruster bursts. Some activated localized gravity shifts, bending the plasma paths away. Others absorbed the impact with layered energy shields that shimmered but held strong. Human losses. 0. Alien losses. Climbing from lunar orbit, the defense platform fired again. This time, 3 beams at once. 3 alien cruisers exploded in brilliant flashes. Fragments drifted silently through space, across Earth. Telescopes captured the destruction. People watching from rooftops gasped. Someone in Los Angeles yelled, "Yo, we're actually winning." The mood on Earth shifted completely. Fear was fading. Confidence was rising for the first time. Humanity saw its hidden strength, and honestly, it felt good inside the alien flagship. Tension turned into desperation. We underestimated them, one officer whispered. The commander did not respond. It studied the human fleet movements, coordinated, deficient, almost surgical. This was not chaos. This was strategy. The commander made a bold decision. Concentrate. All fire on a single sector. Break through their ring. It pointed toward a section of human ships near Saturn's direction. Alien warships rotated and fired everything they had. Massive energy beams slammed into the targeted sector. 2 human ships took direct hits. Their shields flared brightly. One flickered. Marcus, watching from Sentinel, felt his heart stop. Shield integrity dropping on vanish. The general did not blink. Redirect power from secondary grids. Instantly. Hidden solar collectors near Mercury transmitted energy through quantum relays. The damaged human ship's shields stabilized. It pulled back safely. Another human vessel replaced it. Instantly, like clockwork, the alien commander watched in disbelief. They have energy reserves across the entire system. Yes, they did. Commander Walker saw the alien push. They're trying to punch a hole, her officer said. Sarah nodded. All right. Enough playing nice. She turned to her weapons officer. Activate net protocol. The officer hesitated for half a second. Ma'am, that will disable them completely. Sarah's voice was calm. That's the point. From multiple human ships, strange devices launched. Small, glowing orbs drifted toward the alien formation. They did not explode. They expanded. Energy webs formed. Between them, a massive grid of crackling blue light wrapped around a section of alien warships. Ships caught inside the net suddenly lost power. Engines shut down. Weapons died. Lights flickered out. Trapped alien vessels floated, helplessly alive, but neutralized. The alien commander stared at the display. What is that weapon? No one answered, because no one knew. Meanwhile, stealth ships behind the alien fleet continued. Their silent strikes, gravity pulses crushed, isolated. Ships. Communication relays failed. Alien coordination collapsed further. The armada that once looked unstoppable now looked scattered, broken, panicked. Bon. Alien officer finally said what everyone was thinking. We cannot win. Silence filled the flagship. The commander closed its eyes briefly, then opened them. Send emergency transmission to the Empire. The message was simple. Earth is not undefended. Repeat. Earth is heavily fortified. Immediate reassessment required. The transmission launched, but before it could fully transmit beyond the solar system, human warp disruptors intercepted it. Blocked. Scrambled. Only fragments escaped into deep space. Not enough to understand, not enough to warn properly inside Sentinel. Alina smiled slightly. They tried to call home. The general nodded. Double quotes, yeah. Not today. Marcus stared at the screen. So, what now? The general's eyes hardened. Now we make sure none of them leave. The alien commander made one final desperate move. All ships, overload reactors. Break through by force. If they could not jump away, they would blast a path through. Alien ships surged forward together in one massive push, weapons firing non-stop. Energy beams streaked across space. Human ships answered with coordinated counterfire. Precision strikes. Targeted engines. Targeted weapon cores. Targeted shield generators. One by one, alien ships went dark. Some exploded. Some were trapped in energy nets. Some were crushed by gravity pulses. The once mighty armada was shrinking fast. Commander Walker watched the battlefield. She felt no joy, no hatred, just focus. Open channel, she said. A communication beam pierced through alien frequencies for the first time. A human voice echoed inside the alien flagship. "You entered our system without permission," Sarah said calmly. "You fired first." The alien commander listened in stunned silence. Sarah continued. "You thought Earth was easy. You were wrong." The alien commander responded. "We miscalculated." Sarah's tone stayed cool. "Yeah, big time." She paused. "Power down your remaining weapons, or we finish this." The alien commander looked at its tactical display. 40% of its fleet was gone, another 30% disabled. Human ships still at near full strength. Escape impossible. Victory impossible. For the first time in its long career, it understood defeat. Slowly, alien weapons powered down. Across space, red glows faded. Human ships kept weapons locked, just in case, back on Earth. Billions watched history unfold. The alien armada that came to conquer was surrendering. People cheered in streets. Cars, HONKED. Flags waved. Someone shouted in Texas, "That's what I'm talking about." But inside Sentinel, celebration was still on hold. The general spoke. "Quietly, secure all disabled vessels." Alina nodded. "Capture operations underway," because this wasn't just about survival, it was about sending a message. The alien fleet had come thinking Earth was prey. Now they would leave, if they left at all, as proof that humanity was not weak, not divided, not clueless. As the remaining alien ships drifted powerless in human custody, Commander Walker looked out at the battlefield. Stars shined calmly again. The solar system was quiet, but the story wasn't over, because somewhere far beyond the stars, an alien empire was waiting for its armada to return, and soon they would realize something was very wrong. The battlefield went quiet. No more red beams, no more explosions, just broken alien ships drifting between planets. Human warships held position in a perfect ring around them. Weapons, locked shields, steady. No celebration on the command channels, only business. Commander Sarah Walker crossed her arms as she looked at the frozen alien fleet. "Status: 43% destroyed," her officer replied. 32% disabled. Remaining ships powered down. Any resistance? Negative. They're done. Sarah nodded once. "Begin capture operations." Inside Project Sentinel, the general watched carefully. Boarding teams? Already en route. Alania answered. Specialized human vessels moved forward, not warships. Capture ships. Their hulls opened, releasing smaller craft that attached to disabled alien cruisers. Magnetic clamps locked in. Cutting lasers began opening. Controlled entry points. Marcus swallowed as he watched the feed. "We're actually boarding them." The general gave him a short look. "They came to conquer us. Now we get to learn from them." Inside the alien flagship, the commander stood motionless. Human ships surrounded them from every angle. Blue targeting lights blinked across the alien hull. Their weapon systems were offline. Door shields, drained escape blocked. An alien officer spoke quietly. "They are sending boarding units." The commander did not resist. There was no point. It had made its decision. All units. It transmitted across its remaining fleet. "Stand down. preserve life. The alien armada obeyed. For a species that had conquered dozens of worlds, this moment felt unreal. They were not the hunters anymore. They were the captured. The first human boarding team entered the alien flagship. Magnetic boots locked onto the metal floor. Weapons raised. Helmet lights cut through the dim corridor. The aliens did not attack. They watched. Tall figures with pale skin and dark eyes stood in silence. One human marine muttered under his breath, "Well, this is awkward." His commander whispered back, "Stay sharp. No sudden moves." But the aliens made none. The alien commander stepped forward slowly. Unarmed, it looked at the humans for a moment. Both sides simply stared. Two species from different stars. One came for conquest. One was defending home. The alien commander finally spoke through a translation device. "We misjudged your world." The human marine leader replied calmly, "Yeah, you kinda did." Across the solar system, capture operations continued. Human engineers disabled alien reactors safely. Weapons were dismantled. Navigation cores secured. Everything was documented. Everything was studied. The general wanted data, technology, tactics. If another fleet ever came, humanity would be even more ready. Because Earth didn't just survive threats, it learned from them fast. Back on Earth, the public watched live updates. News reporters tried to explain gravity, nets, and warp disruptors. Most people didn't understand the science, but they understood one thing. Humanity had just won. Crowds gathered in city centers. People waved flags. Strangers hugged. In Chicago, someone shouted, "They messed with the wrong planet, man." Even world leaders looked different now. More confident, less divided. For once, politics didn't matter. Survival did, and humanity had shown up. Inside Sentinel, a new discussion began. "What do we do with them?" Marcus asked. The room grew quiet. Elena folded her arms. "We can't just wipe them out. That would make us the aggressors." A military advisor spoke next. "If we let them go, they could return with reinforcements." The general listened to every opinion. Then he said something simple. "We send them back." Marcus blinked. "Back? Yes, but not empty-handed." Hours later, the alien commander was escorted to a communication chamber aboard its own flagship. Human engineers had restored limited power under supervision. One communication array was reactivated. The alien commander looked at the human. "General," standing on the opposite screen, "you will destroy us?" the alien asked. The general shook his head. "No." The alien commander seemed surprised. The general continued, "You're going home." Silence. But the general added, "You're taking a message across alien space, far beyond human senses." The alien empire waited. Their armada had gone silent days ago. No updates, no victory reports. High Command assumed communication delay. After all, conquering a primitive world should not take long. Then, a signal arrived. Weak. Damage. But real. Alien. High Command gathered to hear it. The image flickered on screen. Their fleets surrounded by human ships, weapons powered down, captured. Captured shock spread through the chamber. Then the alien commander spoke. Earth is not vulnerable. Earth is not divided. Earth is advanced. The chamber went silent. The commander continued. They allowed us to retreat. They chose mercy. Murmurs spread. Mercy from prey. Then the screen shifted. A human figure appeared. The general stood straight, calmed his voice translated clearly. This is Earth, he said. You came to our system with weapons hot. You fired first. He paused. We defended ourselves. Behind him, images of destroyed alien ships appeared. Then images of captured vessels, controlled neutralized. You underestimated us, the general said. That won't happen again. The alien council listened in stunned silence. The general finished with one final line. We prefer peace. But we do not lose. The transmission ended. Back in the solar system, preparations were complete. Alien ships that still had functional engines were released one by one. Warp disruptors powered down in narrow corridors, just enough for exit, not enough for attack dots. Commander Sarah Walker watched as the first alien cruiser powered up slowly. You really think they won't come back? One officer asked her. Sarah shrugged slightly. Oh, they'll think about it. The alien ships began jumping too faster than light speed. One after another, they vanished into streaks of light. The broken ones remained, claimed by humanity, trophies, lessons, warnings, inside the alien flagship. The commander prepared for departure. Before activating jump drive, it sent one final internal message to its fleet. We survived because they allowed it. A humbling truth. Then the ship jumped. Gone. Silence returned to the solar system. No enemy fleet. No glowing red weapons. Just stars. Human ships slowly powered down battle formations. Commander Walker exhaled for the first time in hours. Well, she said quietly, that was something. Back on Earth, celebrations continued late into the night. But inside Project Sentinel, there was no party, only planning. The general looked at the tactical display one last time. They came for Earth. Marcus said softly. The general nodded. Double quotes, yeah. Marcus looked at him. And the general allowed himself a small smile. They'll never forget what happened here. Outside, the moon glowed peacefully. The shield remained active, hidden. Weapons stayed in position. Because space was still dangerous. Empires were still out. There, but now the galaxy knew. Something new. Earth was not prey. Earth was not weak. Earth was ready. And the alien armada that came for it, it went home with a story no one would ignore. The alien fleet returned home, but they did not return as conquerors. They returned, quiet, damaged, humbled. Across the alien empire, citizens waited for celebration news instead. They received silence. Then the full battle record was released too high. Command. The images spread quickly. Human ships appearing from nowhere. Gravity. Weapons crushing warships. Energy nets freezing entire squadrons. A planetary shield that refused to break. And most shocking of all, mercy. The humans had let them leave. That part hit harder than any weapon, because conquerors do not expect mercy. They expect fear in the alien council chamber. Leaders replayed the human general's message again and again. We prefer peace. but we do not lose. Those words echoed through their military academies, through their intelligence, divisions, through every strategic planning room. Earth was officially reclassified, not as a developing world, not as a target, but as a high-risk civilization. That label carried weight. It meant one thing: do not engage. Meanwhile, back in the solar system, Earth was not relaxing. Project Sentinel remained active. Alien ships that had been too damaged to leave were carefully moved into secure orbital zones. Human engineers studied them day and night. New propulsion systems, new shield structures, new energy cores. Every piece of alien tech was broken down and analyzed. Humanity leveled up again. Fast. Dr. Elena Vasquez looked at a hologram of an alien reactor core. They were 2 generations ahead of us, she said. Marcus raised an eyebrow, and now, Elena gave a small grin. Now we're catching up. Commander Sarah Walker stood on a viewing deck aboard her. Flagship Earth floated below, peaceful again. She thought about how close it had been. If Sentinel had not existed, if preparation had failed, it would have been over. She whispered quietly to herself, they had no idea. And that was the point. Humanity had learned something important. Long ago, you don't show your full strength. You let people think you're average. You let them underestimate you. Then, when it matters, you flip the switch. Game on. News of the battle slowly spread beyond the alien empire. Other civilizations heard rumors. An entire armada neutralized. Ships captured. Empire forced to retreat. At first, many species didn't believe it. It sounded crazy. Earth, that small blue world. No way. But evidence began appearing. Alien trade routes reported. Damaged ships returning. Whispers from inside the Empire confirmed it. Earth was defended heavily and unpredictably. One alien merchant captain said it best during a private transmission. Do not mess with that planet. Trust me, they're built different. The phrase spread across star systems. Built different back on Earth. Life slowly returned to normal. Schools reopened fully. Markets stabilized. Flights resumed. But something had changed. Humanity had seen the truth. They were not alone, and they were not helpless. Governments made a joint announcement. Project Sentinel was declassified. Partially, the public learned that hidden defense systems had existed for decades. At first, people were shocked. You mean we had all this tech and nobody told us? But then came understanding. Panic would have destroyed society long ago. Preparation required silence, and honestly, most people felt proud. Proud that someone had been thinking ahead. Proud that Earth wasn't caught slipping. Inside Sentinel's command room, the general addressed his team one final time. We won this battle, he said calmly. But this isn't about ego. He looked around the room. It's about survival. Marcus asked the question everyone was thinking. Do you think they'll come back? The general thought for a moment. Not soon. He paused. But space is big. Empires change. Power shifts. Alina crossed her arms. So what do we do? The general gave a simple answer. We stay ready. Months passed. Human scientists improved shield. Technology, warp disruptors were upgraded. New stealth fleets were built quietly in deep space shipyards. Humanity expanded slowly beyond Mars. Carefully, strategically, not as conquerors, but as explorers. With teeth, other alien species began sending small probes toward the solar system, not attack fleets, just observation drones. They stayed far away, watching. Measuring one probe transmitted a simple report back to its homeworld. Earth's defense. Grid active. Engagement not recommended. That became the standard line in galactic databases. Engagement not recommended. In the alien empire that had launched the invasion, military doctrine changed completely. No more quick invasions of unknown worlds. No more assuming technological superiority. Cadets studied the Battle of Seoul as a warning. The instructor would say, "What was their mistake?" And students would answer, "They underestimated." Exactly. That word carried weight. Underestimate a human species at your own risk. Because humans adapt. They improvise. They fight hard. And when cornered, they don't fold. They get creative. Real. Creative. 1 year after the invasion, Commander Sarah Walker stood at a ceremony in Washington. No flashy medals, no loud parades, just quiet recognition. The president shook her hand. "You saved the planet," he said. Sarah smiled slightly. "We all did." Because that was the truth. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, civilians who stayed calm. Humanity had stood together. For once, it wasn't about borders. It wasn't about politics. It was about home. And nobody messes with home, far beyond human space. In the dark between stars, an alien scout ship drifted silently. It observed the outer edge of the solar system from extreme distance. Long-range scans, only no closer. Its captain reviewed old battle data, then looked at Earth through magnified lenses. The blue planet looked harmless, peaceful, almost fragile. The captain shook its head. "Not worth it," it muttered. The scout ship turned away and jumped to hyperspace. Back on Earth, children played in parks. Cities buzzed. Life moved forward. Most people rarely thought about the invasion anymore. But high above them, hidden in orbit, the shield shimmered faintly in standby mode. Ready, always ready. Inside Sentinel. Marcus looked at the live space feed one night. Stars twinkled quietly. No threats detected. He smiled. "They came for Earth," he said softly. Alina nodded beside him, and Marcus leaned back in his chair. "They should have done their homework." Alina laughed. "Yeah, rookie move." Across the galaxy, one message had spread clearly. Earth is not prey. Earth is not divided. Earth is not an easy win. The alien armada that targeted it. It survived, but it never came back. And no other empire ever tried. Again, because sometimes the strongest planet isn't the loudest one. Sometimes it's the one that stays quiet, builds in the dark, and waits. Humanity preferred peace. But the galaxy had learned something the hard way. If you come for Earth, you'd better not miss. Asterisk, because Earth doesn't.